Yo, 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 YouTube. That was actually quite hard to say. I'm Lucky Sixes. This up here is Hyper G.
Gee, I'm here and I'm apparently looking yellow.
You are. You are
Yes.
all yellow.
Yeah.
I think we I think
I
we're gonna
didn't
get
write a song for you though, I'm
no.
afraid.
That's
No,
true.
sorry about that. Yeah.
We might get demonetized for that. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Oh man. Oh
Oh
well.
well.
Hi channel. Nice knowing you,
Anyway, we're
Pikes.
not here to talk about YouTube and algorithms and stuff like share and subscribe. We are here to talk about Saurian Ancients because they've had an update like everyone else. Only this one's a bit bigger because they're in the alpha stage.
Yeah, I think so.
They're part of the first phase. I feel like I'm
Mm.
in MCU with all these phases. But the first phase of updates and stuff. Yeah, Saurian Ancients. Big
It's an
time.
army close to my heart, obviously.
Yes, it
So
is.
I'm going to try not to talk for hours.
as as a disclaimer, we're gonna, as I say, like you said, go through things as quickly as possible for the
Oh yeah.
purposes of an overview thing.
Mhm.
Will There will be some things that reference the rulebook, and Arcane Compendium. Go check out those videos that we've done already. Yeah, there will definitely be things we've missed, and when they do, you need to put it in the comments because
That's
we
right.
very much
We're all a
love.
community.
Yes, but
Or if we just get them playing wrong, because there's also that possibility.
I mean,
Strong
it's an
possibility.
odds on.
Yeah.
The bookie's paying out already, I think, on
Yeah.
that. But yes, here we go. Saurian Ancients, the dinosaurs, and we move straight on to the first change in Kaiman Mentors.
Yeah. I mean, the change that kind of needs to be mentioned before talking about Carmen
Well,
Mentors
yeah,
is that combined strength is gone completely. That
yes,
whole first page of the book is gone. And we shouldn't really even mention that because that's probably enough said.
yeah. It's just gone.
Right?
It's been changed into different forms basically
The
throughout it,
attached
and
rule,
yeah,
effectively, in the rule
um,
book.
and that's what I say. That's the theme throughout all
Mm.
these changes in the books is that there's new things in the rule book. Go check out the video. Um,
Yeah.
that are now just common rules,
It means
basically.
they don't have to be mentioned in the army book, although the Kaiman Mentors rule, which we're about to talk about, is the last remnant of combined strength
Yes.
because they work a little bit differently because they can go in supporting ranks rather than in the front rank.
Mm.
So effectively, everything that was in combined strength is now only applicable to Kaiman mentors, and so it says exactly the same as it used to, i.e., the Kaimans, whichever they be, elders or the normal core version, they still you still get -1 to hit if you're attacking them directly.
Yeah.
But effectively, the rule is exactly the same as it used to be, at least as far as I can tell.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
But just for them.
so it's just a rework so that the
Yeah.
attached
Sure.
rule works alongside Kaiman's,
Mm.
really. So
Yeah.
and it also doesn't take up a whole page, which is
Which is
great.
true, and that's another thing is I do feel like they're trying to reduce down wordage.
Yeah, I think it was a big complaint for the Saurian, maybe not the Saurian regulars, but the Saurian interest people
Mm.
were like, "What is this wall of text? I can't deal with it."
I
And
think they're
so,
doing that. To be fair, I think they're doing that for
mm,
all the video,
yeah, yeah, it's a common theme
books.
that we're
So,
going to see.
but yeah, so basically the same, but specifically for Caimans. Caimans,
Yes, I
Caimans,
don't know.
Caimans.
Yeah,
Communal bond, just a load of stuff taken out, basically.
yeah, this is interesting. This is almost brings it back to Cold Blooded,
Mm.
what they used to be, except the units are still getting a commanding presence A in train because they don't have a general anymore.
Yeah,
So it's a slight rework on Cold Blooded, but a bit more what you used to be used to, the
yeah.
Saurians.
And
It's
again,
fine.
with the less text, really.
Yeah.
Wizard Enclave, they're now apprentices,
We
which
didn't
is
see
what.
that coming, did we?
Yeah, right. However, if you have more than one spell,
Yes.
which is basically two, right? I don't think that's three spells as a Wizard Enclave.
Um, well, most of the Saurian ones get to choose what they're
One or
told
two, yeah,
to choose. Yeah. Then
yeah.
there's three entries that have got the option of choosing two spells, maybe
So
another one.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically anything with two spells still get the channel. So it's
Yeah.
the channel is still there, but you can't get channel 19 like you could before.
Wait, because you
Um,
can't get it in your core choices
yeah.
effectively. So yeah,
And I think
that's
the
fine.
Stygius or whatever that's called now.
Now has it as an option. Yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah, and the enclaves are cheaper though in core as a result.
yes,
So
which
I
is
think they've evened it up.
yeah. I think the channel was always a bit of a thing, and they
It won't. It
basically
won't last. Yeah.
made that the one that's come out. So that's all that
Yeah.
is. So less channel. So you have to get that from
Hmm.
your characters and things more. Pack onto the same, price the same. Solitary's gone, but not really. It's just been exchanged for the
Exclusive rule.
exclusive rule, which is a rule book rule. Go check out that
Yep.
video.
Hmm.
Predator senses. What changes here?
It just means that predator senses applies to shooting attacks. So it's a little bit niche in that if you had a unit that had predator senses and a shooting weapon, I haven't got any examples ready to throw at you, I'm afraid. But it just means it affects your shooting as well. So rerolls to hit.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
And that's sort of for the army wide rules. That takes us. That's it really for the changes. So the main one obviously being the combined strength change.
Yep.
We go to the hereditary spell, and
Mhm.
as far as I can see, it's the same as the. It's gone down slightly, isn't it? In casting value, 6-8 rather than 7-10.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
Which is good, I think, for a spell that has good and bad aspects to it.
that's right.
I'm never really too sure on spells that have good and bad, like because spells can be so brutal in the game, really. So the fact that it's gone to, I think it is right to go down.
Yeah, I think Saurian generals were a little bit excited about this as a hereditary, and then it turned out that all the other spells are kind of just better anyway.
All right.
So it's gone down in casting because
Yeah.
it wasn't really being used that much, but it's still an effective spell.
Yeah,
So
and it's fair enough. But yeah, otherwise works still the same. Howler devices and the monolith has gone down, which is nice
10
to
points, 10
see.
points cheaper, which is great.
Because carved wisdom just gone.
No,
Oh
it's
no, it's
just gone
later
down
on.
one because it's got
gone.
cheaper.
Oh right, yeah,
Um,
sure, because it's in. I
and it's
didn't
lost
realise that.
channel as well.
Yeah,
So
sure.
funnily enough.
Well, we'll get to that in a bit, but that has gone way down in price.
Yeah.
So the Monolith's gone down, the Venomous Fortress has gone down 15 points. And how has that changed? Is it just a rewording? It's just a rewording, isn't it?
Yeah, because it used to mention combined strength, whereas it no longer needs to. So yeah, it's the same as it was.
Yeah, but gone cheaper, which is good. I think the Howler device is going cheaper is good.
Yeah, I
Carved
think so.
Wisdom down 50 points. I know you lose the channel, but that's quite a big drop.
I think basically Howler devices, there were just so many popular ones that this one just got ignored. And so
Yeah.
they've kind of just made it a bit more accessible if you've got less points to spend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Losing the channel is a big one for this week, but more
Yeah.
spells it seems to be how they're going. You're going to have loads of spells, really, as choices.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
going down that route that we had sort of like initially said with the feel of the book, into that you don't need any characters whatsoever. So I think that
Exactly.
kind of
You can get everything you need in the art section.
So that's an interesting one. Lodestone Shield has gone up.
Got more expensive, but I think that's fine.
But works the same. Magnetic great bows basically the same, just gone down 5 points.
Yeah, surprised at that. I think it's pretty good, but
yeah. But they're all around the same sort of price now, which I guess 45 wouldn't have done it too much. But Suncatcher Crystal, this is
complete rework.
Yeah. How's this work?
Yeah, so where it used to be a beam like shooting weapon, but forget all that. It doesn't even matter what it used to do. It used to be a shooting weapon. Now it's a combat buff to give fortitude out.
Yeah,
and of course your skink units do start with a 6 up fortitude, so this is a +1 to them.
Yeah.
So obviously you've got healing waters available as well. So
I was going to say, but that doesn't take it to 3+, does it?
No, healing waters doesn't.
Plus.
Yeah.
But so this is with the druidism change to obviously not getting access to 4+. Having this to get to 4+ could be quite good.
Yeah.
And it's all infantry in the same unit or in the same fight.
You have to be. I think is there a range there? Choose one of the. Yeah, you have to be in the same fight.
So
as Suncatcher Crystal.
all the things.
Yes.
So not even your own unit, which is, well, I guess, the point of
Well, all
the race.
friendly infantry. It does say all friendly infantry get the fortitude.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah, yeah, that's what I mean.
it's one of the two. It's either grind attacks or fortitude. It's not
Yeah.
both.
I must admit though, I don't think 2d3 strength 4 grind is that great in terms of
No, I guess
punching
if
power.
if you're not in combat with a friendly infantry unit, then you may as well go with the grind attacks. But if you
True.
have got the option of buffing a friendly infantry,
Yeah.
then go for that one. I think it's interesting because for so long Saurians have had the whole "you're not allowed a buff wagon," and now they've got a buff wagon. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, fair enough. Engine and Ancients is the same, apart from 0 to 3,
it's a little bit cheaper, but
and a bit cheaper. So,
yeah, I
interesting.
think again, I think maybe it was just like not really taken that much. So
Sure.
now you can take 3 of them. I don't know. I think there's just not enough models that can take Howdas for such cool ideas. You want to take all of them, and
Yeah,
I
sure.
just don't think you have enough dinosaurs to take them.
If
So
if you go 0 to if you go 3 of these, that's all your howders it's going to be, isn't it?
yeah, I mean,
Pretty much.
what it's doing is it means you can take a Thyroscootus unit that has got 3 of the same Howdah, really, as a universal
So
thing.
that's
cool.
pretty good, isn't it? Strength 6, area attack 2, and then 3 of them.
It's built for chosen knights, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, a few changes, but mainly cheaper across the whole, really.
Yeah, I think so. A few
prices.
tweaks in prices, but yeah, no, it's fine. It's all good.
Yeah.
They're experimenting.
Yeah, very much so. Weapon enchantments and Glory of Dawn Edge got cheaper. You'll notice in a lot of the weapon enchantments that they've got rid of basically and become magical attacks. That's because it basically said
Doesn't need to.
In the rule book itself.
Yeah,
so,
any weapon enchantment is automatically magical attacks. We'll probably say it for every video, but we don't need to.
Yeah, we'll only say it once for each video. So then alchemical arrows have stayed the same, just for that taken away. Serpent's Nest charm got slightly cheaper, but with that taken away, so it works the same. The vital essence has got more expensive, but it's changed to a light armor enchantment rather than a shield.
Yeah, which I think is really good. It's just an extra option for a light armor, and you can do it alongside a shield that then also has an enchantment as well. So
yeah,
it's a cheap version of Fortitude 4 up, but you don't get plus armor.
And it used to be Fortitude 5 up, didn't it? So it's increased to that.
Yes, it used to be Fortitude 6 up and +1. So yeah, effectively 5 up.
Yeah. So giving it flat 4 up is good, and then obviously with Druidism, all that powder that we mentioned a few minutes ago, that could be quite a good combo.
Can get to 3 up, yeah.
So I guess, I mean, for only how much has it got for lessons? 15 points extra. I think that's pretty good change. Pretty fair.
Plus 1 health point on a character is always useful.
Yeah. Going to the banners, Koro Stone down 25 points. So that's good.
Yeah, it's actually got a bigger range to it as well. It used to be 8 inches. So
for that BSB thing. So that's really interesting. So that basically means it's a BSB, doesn't it?
Yeah, a proper BSB, except obviously, you haven't got the towering presence, so you're just a normal infantry BSB. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I mean, cheaper and bigger range, so overall better. Skeptic's Steel is gone. See you later. Not going to mention it ever again.
No one didn't expect that. So
it was an interesting one. It was nice to have demon killers and stuff like that. But
Banner of the World Dragon.
No. Right, moving on and onto the artifacts.
Ancient Black has been nerfed a little bit. It's now per game turn instead of per magic phase. You can't do it in your opponent's and yours.
So you really have to think about that.
Yeah, like when you want to use it, you're using it for that entire turn. So 6 uses a game basically.
But I'm not sure. 100 points. I think that should have gone down.
I think it should have gone down for that reason.
Like it's a bigger trade-off.
I think so. I don't think it's quite as appealing.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see that
for
much.
That price. No.
Otherwise, any other change in the artifacts?
Just the Heart of Atawat is gone.
Okay. Yeah.
And I guess it's because it's very reliant on it being a compound unit, and they just thought, no, scrub that compound unit thing. Let's just get rid of the item, which is okay. I mean, we lost 2 items overall, which is kind of a little bit of a shame, but
Yeah.
I don't think there's any reason to despair. There's plenty of others.
Yeah, sure. I don't know how to say it, but I will give it a go. Te Apuri Stone has gone down 5 points.
Sure.
Anyone that wanted to know?
Yeah, I can't say I've heard anyone using it really,
No.
but then I'm not exactly keeping an eye out much. But I quite like it, and cheaper the better.
Yeah, always. But yeah, as you said, a few taken away. Not too many changes, a few points here and there, but yeah, for the most part, artifacts and items all the same.
Yeah, happy enough.
The Anurak Archmage, Anorak, he's got more expensive to start off with, and his discipline is out of there.
Yeah, I mean, not that discipline really mattered because you probably had a better discipline on your unit than he was anyway, and you didn't need him as the general. So I don't think it matters whether it's 2 or whether it's 6.
Yeah, this is what I still think he should be res 2 as well, because he's
just a squishy frog.
You can't like get to him either, like you can the Canaans, for example, can you? So I have a thing where I really like that they've put it discipline 2 because it is completely irrelevant to his profile. So why not like gameplay?
Yeah, it's for the forbidden mastery for when you take a strength 5 hit. If he was res 2, then it'd be wounding on 2s.
Yeah.
So being res 4 means it's wounding on 3s. Yeah. So there is a way of hitting him, but yeah, swings and roundabouts.
Much change otherwise?
You've got channel 2 is written. Well, he's actually gained a channel. Actually, thinking about it, I didn't notice this originally.
Oh, okay, good.
He had Wizard Master and Channel 1. Now he's got Channel 2 and Wizard Master. Right. So I think this makes up for the fact that your enclaves in core are not getting Channel.
Sure.
So this guy is basically
you either go
main source of Channel.
Yeah.
But of course, because of Grasp of the Immortal, you are actually sacrificing 3 Channel if you get the +1 to cast.
Sure.
So it's a tricky trade-off.
Which hasn't changed as a mechanic. It's just he's got an extra channel sort of thing. Yeah,
and they've taken away the sentence about a natural roll of 1 or 2 with a single dice is always a failed casting attempt. So now you can actually roll a 2 with 1 dice and it not be a failure because you get essentially +2.
Is that not? It's not been changed in the rule book to be.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Not that I know of. Cool, so that's a buff to him.
Interesting.
The other thing is the Anorak Wardens have got cheaper, but I still don't think anyone's going to take it.
So. Yeah, it's only by 10 points as well from that point of view. On to his abilities.
Arcane Masteries.
Yeah, masteries. And Forbidden Mastery. Woohoo!
It's got a lot. Yeah. It just means you take that and nothing else. But yeah.
So there is
fair enough.
It's just gone up in points. Works the same. Astrology mastery hasn't gone. It's just changed to mind shifting.
Really?
Is it? Oh no,
it has gone. Yeah,
gone
I'm a bit gutted. I quite liked it. And I wanted to use it, but I was using Forbidden Mastery too long. And I now will never get to use Astrological Mastery. But never mind.
Mr. Chance.
Eidetic Mastery is changed in points. It's gone down by 5 points, but I think that's because they're kind of trimming off the points that they all cost so they can go together.
Yeah, either 50 or 100 and then 1 for 30, which is the new mind shifting mastery.
Yeah, which kind of just is a little tidier version of Protean magic, and it means you can use the attribute spells. And I think this is a really cool little combo.
Really liked it. I really like the fact that you can use all those because that's so diverse.
I think they're really making this Anorak a bit of a caster on the stage of 9th Age. You know, he's supposed to be a pretty good and a pretty nifty little caster, and I think all the tools he's been given mean he really can be one of the best.
I mean, so what you got alchemy, which is flammable. Divination is the better leadership, which would be 4d3, 4d6 for you, which is good. Druidism now is Strider. Which is situational. And so if you're in a forest, and witchcraft is the plus evil eye, isn't it, or plus or minus?
Yeah, plus or minus a movement.
I really like that. It's really flavourful actually.
Or plus you could just use your own attribute if you want to. So effectively, you're getting 5 attributes to choose from.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah, no, good. Cool. So that's him. Do we like him?
I do. I do like him. I think I'm a bit good. I didn't get to use astrological mastery, but hey,
Yeah.
can't use it all. So yeah, but I
Um,
think he's fun.
no changes in the other masteries. They're exactly the same.
Yeah,
So from that point of view, Kaiman Master, he's got cheaper,
he needed to.
and he's gained some water Strider.
Everyone has.
Mm.
Everyone has got Water Strider back. I don't know if that's a bit of
Well,
a
not the
public
Anorak.
outcry. No, except the Anorak.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know,
So
yeah.
there are a few that it seems like all the skinks and things get it, or the Tegu as well, have they?
They have got it as well in
Okay,
there.
so
It's literally,
infantry-ish thing stuff.
yeah, yeah. Just don't run your Anorak through it.
Yeah, right. He's in the middle. He's the only one that takes DTs. I love it. But yeah, exclusive is that rule that we were saying. So he's
can't
not
join
solitary
things.
anymore, but he is exclusive and exclusive. I was hoping when I saw the exclusive thing, I thought that
It would
he
say
might get
Kaiman Elders.
exclusive Kaiman Elders, or
Yeah,
something, but not to
yeah.
be, unfortunately.
Right
So
now.
otherwise, he works the same, from what I can see.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Um,
Just a bit cheaper, which I think he needed.
Bit cheaper
So
than Water Strider, so
it's all good.
yeah, little by little with him, I think.
I think so.
The Tegu veteran, pretty much the same. There's 5 points here, 5 points there for other things. But
Yeah.
added Water Strider, so not much to say on him.
The Alpha's just got 10 points cheaper, but
Yeah.
here or there. 10 points more expensive, so sorry. Other way around.
Sure. Skink Vet is what it is.
Strider.
Strider
And
again.
it's actually added in a bit about Master Strategist that you can now actually form units of skink veterans.
Sure.
Which maybe someone was doing that, so it needed clarifying.
Yeah.
It surprised me when I
well.
saw that in there.
Yeah, very cool. But otherwise, it works the same. Agility 5. What's that from 4? Is it much of a change?
I haven't noticed that. He has gotten quicker, yes.
Yeah.
But he's still slower than the old book, where there was 6. So
yeah, I guess you could put a decent weapon on him and 3 attacks. It's not too bad.
Yeah, I mean there is the Serpent's Nest weapon, which is built for these guys, which is attack 6. So the fact that he's a bit quicker does mean that
little Yoda going around.
Exactly. I still don't think it's like he's not your big killer. But it's a little bit of help.
Anorak Warden's Discipline 8, obviously because the Frog is 2, so I guess that's what you're getting for that if you pay for that.
Yeah,
so, interesting.
It is a way of getting Discipline 8 without a Tegu veteran or a special unit. So yeah.
So and I guess because it got cheaper, that's a good move from that point of view. So that's interesting. Soaring Raptors are the same mount wise. Pterodon is the same mount wise. Suaki Sky Tyrant. Puaki.
Oh, very good. I've never heard anyone pronounce it with an S, but
I know. Yeah,
that's pretty nifty.
Maybe it might be like pterodactyl, that sort of thing, but not quite.
Clever. It's just got special ambush open terrain instead of its somewhat mind-boggling high altitude rule, which I think no one really needed to bash their brain with. So now they've just called it part of the new special ambush open terrain rule.
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, and again, that's like those sorts of things are quite good actually for the game. I think.
I think so. It used to be a bit of a Freya thing, and now it's not.
Yeah. And Taurosaur and Carnosaur are the same for mounts.
Yep, except obviously the Carnosaur's costing 10 points more, but no worries.
Yeah, from that point of view. Core and Tegu. There's a lot of blue text here, but what does that mean?
It means what we've already said in that the Kaiman Mentors unit special rule from the front is now part of their entry.
Sure.
Really, instead of it being in the entry of the models joining the unit, it's now in the entry of the models that are joined by the unit. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Did I see as well that the wizard with the Enclave Wizard? I know you mentioned they've gone down overall, which is good. Was there a change in there also that they can get moved to the second rank? They get stand behind.
Sort of. If they change their base size, then they then they get stunned behind.
Right. Okay.
But if their base size still fits in with the unit like it normally would, then I don't think they.
So that's for the Tegu warriors and stuff, rather than the Guardians. So
let me just skim that again. If applicable, the model's base size is changed to the base size stated in brackets. If so, the model gains stand behind. Oh yeah, no, that's right. No, actually, so
But
these guys
I
would
would
have stand
imagine that
behind.
the Kaiman Elders, for example, don't, because they don't change the thing.
Yeah, you don't get the champion upgrade
So I'm
with.
guessing for the infantry based, and we'll have a look at the Skink
Mhm.
Warriors as well. Yeah, they
Yeah,
change their size, so
the
the infantry
champions
stuff stands
effectively gain
behind.
stand behind.
So
Yeah, yeah.
that's really interesting.
It makes it
Um,
a little bit more protected.
yeah, which is good. I think that's quite cool. The idea that the pack will protect them and things.
Yeah, which is interesting because I mean they've still kept their +1 HB,
Yeah.
so it's interesting.
Skink Warriors main change being the new spell, obviously with the druidism thing. They've got entwining roots rather than
Healing waters.
the old healing waters.
Yeah, they've gone down to Discipline 5 again, which is part of going back to the old cold-blooded. So I
Sure.
think that's just a trade-off, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
which I think
fair enough.
is fair.
Yeah.
Um,
But
yeah,
entwining roots, so that's -1 offensive or -2 offensive, defensive, and agility, or just offensive and
yeah.
defensive.
No, just offensive and defensive.
Yeah. So yeah, I see that more useful actually than the fortitude one, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just it kind of like means that you don't have to think about taking it as part of druidism because there's plenty of other spells to take in druidism.
yeah, yeah,
So if you have these guys rocking entwining roots, then that spell's covered, and
sure,
then you don't have to not take one of the other better ones with your
yeah,
main caster.
yeah,
So
great.
it's fine. It's fine.
Mm.
It's another way of getting Strider as your attribute spell. So
Yeah, true. Moving on to Skink Hunters, again got exactly the same Discipline 5, champions cheaper and entwining roots. Common Warriors, how much cheaper are they? They're not.
they are no, they're 5 points more
Uh,
expensive in both in the base cost and in
mm.
per model.
So obviously
Um,
the Enclave's gone down, but them themselves have gone up. Have they used a lot then, do we think?
I think they probably are just as a scoring dart,
Mm.
or as a poor man's Kaiman Elder, really.
Yeah.
But you can only get 8 models in an army. So, I mean, these guys might be slightly more popular now because people only had Kaimans on 40 by 40 bases.
Yes.
And slowly we're going to see the Kaiman Elders taking over. But no, I think it's still a decent entry into core.
Yeah,
So,
and it's not much. It's only by like 5 points, and then
yeah.
it change. So so that's core. So pretty much the same. Just the biggest thing I probably is that entwining roots change and
Yeah.
the
The
stand
enclave
behind
things. Yeah.
yeah. So Tegu Guard, and we have the Tegu Guard versus Tegu Mystics argument again.
Yeah.
Tegu Guard going up actually, so they were
Yeah.
clearly the best one in round one of the
Yeah,
change.
I still haven't had a chance to take them, so I don't know if I can be as controversial with my comments on Take a Guard yet. But
Yeah.
I think they're takeable, just
Yeah.
maybe not. Yeah, not for me just yet.
They have got. I mean, if you think about the basic price and the halberds and great weapons going up, basically doubling per model. So they have got a lot more expensive. So that's going to be interesting. I think what you've seen was a lot of 15-man Tegu warriors housing other things. And so I think they were just trying to make that a bit more expensive, but all of them are expensive to be honest. Tegu mystics. From the most part cheaper. So
no one, say no one. I don't know of anyone taking them. So
no.
I think they just made them slightly more appealing. And in terms of the spells, they lost entwining roots and gained Fountain of Youth, which is fun.
Which is like the opposite way of the core stuff, really.
Yeah, and this is going to be the first Enclave entry where you are actually seeing 2 spells. Therefore, they do have channel. So
so
that's a bonus for their profile.
I guess because they got cheaper and didn't get more expensive because of that as well. That makes them more appealing from that point of view. But otherwise, not too drastic a change. Raptor packs have got slightly more expensive, but not by much.
I think that was always going to happen.
Yeah, they're just very good delivery services, aren't they? And chaff, yeah. Raptor Riders a bit more expensive, but otherwise the same.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit disappointed because I like that unit, but
yeah, just the base cost. So I guess it's just that base cost for 8. This must be one of the only ones that start off at 8.
It's a strange cavalry unit. I mean, I wasn't too unhappy because I have 16 of them, but
just by complete fluke.
Exactly, yeah.
Kaiman Elders, and they have got a bit cheaper
Yes.
over the whole. Obviously, got that Strider, but because of the Enclave not really being nerfed on them, it's only gone down a little bit, but it has gone down.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And their spells have been changed ever so slightly. They keep Enlightenment, but they've lost Savage Fury and they've lost Summer Growth, and now they've got Awaken the Beast and Healing Waters. Interestingly, Awaken the Beast isn't in blue text, whereas it probably should
Yeah,
be. They didn't used to have that, but still.
But yeah, I guess that just means. Do you have Savage Fury on anything else? We haven't had it
No,
so far. So,
no shamanism available.
so you've
Generally,
lost Savage Fury as a thing.
as an option, yeah. But
Which
it's
is
probably
interesting.
not the most game-breaking spell anyway.
No,
So
but
unless someone uses it on you,
yeah, sure, yeah. But yeah, otherwise not too much change.
nice to see their discipline go up to 8 though. I think that's
Sure.
needed for a more elite unit.
Definitely. Especially if you want things to be moving around on their own
Mm-hmm.
as well. Thyro Scooter's Herd is got cheaper, but a bit more expensive for the extras.
Yeah, I think this is great for my army. You know, so I was only ever using one. The herd mentality is an interesting one because it means that you do take units of 2 or more Thyros, then you're stubborn and fearless, which is pretty cool.
Is it in the only in units though, right?
Yeah, you can't take
fearless
more than
isn't
one.
great though.
True,
as a rule.
True.
It comes with some.
It's not too bad on attack though.
No,
because generally you probably wasn't going to be fleeing with your tank.
Sure.
I mean, it may have been better if you could turn it off, for example. But if you're worried about it, then just take one of them.
Yeah.
Rather than 2, because you have to have 2 or more in order to trigger this.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not the biggest thing.
No, it does mean that if you just have 1 and you combine it into other units, then you don't get the herd mentality. So it doesn't suddenly give your unit stubborn. We're not seeing Tegu warriors with stubborn because they've got Thyro in them.
Yeah, that'd be mental. That'd be really good.
I was desperately hoping Parry didn't disappear from this, and it hasn't yet. So I'm keeping quiet.
Ramphadon Riders have got more expensive, interestingly, actually.
I'm very upset about Ramphadon Riders.
Yeah.
I can't see myself taking them anytime soon. Other people like them. I think they're in a really bad place at the moment. So
yeah, I mean, mechanically they're the same. They're just a bit more expensive there. Saurian Swarms have got way more expensive.
Yeah, a whole load of blue text as well. I mean, they're the first demonstration of the extra attacks rule, which is interesting. Extra support, rather.
Extra support, but only 3 in the second row, which I suppose is better if you run them and things. Interestingly, they're 3 to 6 now rather than 2 to 4 as well. So the option for bigger units of 6, I guess, is interesting as a mechanic there. Gained Fearless as well.
Yeah, which is part of what the old Saurian Swarm used to have. And I think it's a weakness on them.
Yeah, sure.
Predator Senses is fine, especially with poison attack, because you're re-rolling hits and poison. That's great. But Fearless is a little bit of a nerf.
Option to Scout is interesting as well. So these guys have become much more versatile, I think, in how you can use them.
Yeah, you just got to be a bit careful with them, I think, and use them in the right circumstances. But they're beasts now, which is interesting. So.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
They used to be infantry, so that's part of their extra support.
Oh, and their res and strength has gone up. So a lot has changed about these. Discipline's gone down. So yeah, a lot's changed by these. So so this might even be a completely kind of different unit and how you're going to play them and stuff. The DTs is really good. I do really like that. So interesting. See if maybe this is a big call for Saurian Swarms to be included more.
Maybe.
On to the Guerrilla Warriors, Strider, and a few changes in
they've changed over the price between the short bow and the blowpipes. They used to be the other way around.
Sure.
So that's an interesting one. I mean, marking lore is instead of being 2 points per model, it's just a flat 20 points, which is again interesting. But essentially, probably around about. It's probably gone up in price because it used to be 2 points per model, and you might have had 10. But I guess it means here or there.
Yeah,
but
that's
it's
sure.
fine. It's fine.
Weapon beasts and well,
Oh boy, oh boy.
I mean, how expensive, please?
It's because you're getting two instead of one,
Yeah, true, but
as a minimum. I don't like this at all.
they've changed
Um,
completely into what they could do and not what they
yeah,
are.
I mean, for me personally, it means I will not be playing spearbacks because I only own one.
Yeah.
Proxy Table Gaming, eh? Yeah, I
So
think
this
it's good.
is probably the first entry where you've really seen the combined strength completely go. It's not been
Yes,
changed around. It's just gone
it's
from
just
them.
gone. They can't draw the skinks anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they used to be able to. Now they cannot in any regard. So
Mhm. And
that's
the shoot spikes of the spearbacks is better, but it is only 3 shots per model.
yeah.
So you get less shots, but it's strength 5. And
Mm.
strength 5 on a little beastie like this is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, so I guess it's
Um,
6 as a minimum, isn't it? Because you've got 2 guys again, so that's a
yeah,
thing to think. But yeah,
the proof will be in the play,
and yeah,
really, and see what
their
happens.
strength and AP's gone up to help him in combat. So they're
Yeah,
not
and
terrible in
this is
combat.
the reason why predator senses got changed to affect shooting weapons,
Sure.
because the spearback has got predator senses. So not only are you actually firing, excuse me, 3 shots per spearback, you're actually re-rolling your hits with it.
Yeah.
So that's actually pretty cool.
Sure.
And you're hitting on 3s to begin with. So
Yeah. So
I
might be
think the
pretty good.
changes to spearback mean they're actually quite good. But I just need to proxy a spearback.
Yeah. Pterodon riders have got ever slightly cheaper change of some of the spells as well.
Yeah, it's still got Chilling Howl and Enlightenment. Now got Master of Earth is still there, but it's changed round. I guess they're doing
It's
alphabetic.
yeah, yeah.
Entwining Roots has been added in instead of Spirits of the Wood, but I think that's just because the names changed.
Yeah, the names have changed.
So
Master of Earth is still a missile of sorts, but it's a better one actually.
Yeah.
Champion with Enclave has gone down 20 points. Again, it's sort of yeah, but they will have 2 spells, so they will channel. So there's kind of that reason.
Interesting new addition with these is the Special Ambush Titanopod, which is
Ooh.
a really, really interesting little addition they didn't have before.
Okay.
Just means that they can ambush in from a Titanopod.
That's cool, man.
I think it's such a cool thing, and the way they've added this new rule into the rule book means that they don't have to add a paragraph of explanation on how it works.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So how neat and tidy has that been added into the unit without it being a problem?
So they would move from the Titanopod and they couldn't march, but they could go 8 inches from it.
Yeah, pretty
much.
That's
awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool, and it gives you an extra reason to take a Titanopod potentially.
Yeah. I know I like that straight away.
I love it as flavorful. Yeah. You know, it's basically just the Titanopod has a flock of pterodons riding around it. It's really cool.
Nice. Moving on. Speaking of Titanopod and the big things, we move on to Magnasauria.
Yeah, you've already mentioned the enclave on the Stygosaurs, which is cool.
Yeah. So get 1 spell though, so they won't be channeling. From that point of view, but again, another way of getting spells. You could have a million things having spells really. Got cheaper for the first guy and more expensive, so probably rounds out.
Pretty much the same price overall. Yeah.
But yeah, so
the spells available. Oh, there's Savage Fury actually. Interestingly.
Oh right, yeah. So that's where he's got it to basically. But yeah, that's quite cool. Carnosaur is the same, apart from Hunt Leaders slightly
it's
changed.
just been reworded because the combined strength, but it's now a war platform, so you have to put it in the center of your Raptors instead of at the side. And I think that's fine. It just meant that now people have worked out it was better on the side. Now they can't do that. So
yeah, sure. Yeah. I guess when you start off writing rules, you want to write it, and then someone does that, you're like, no, that's not how they're meant to play.
Someone breaks it, and then you force them to play it the way you intended. Yeah,
sure. Taurosaur, exactly the same.
Yeah. I'm not massively thrilled by the Taurosaur at the moment, but we'll see. Or do
you think he's a bit expensive for what he does?
I just think he's just not that fun. There's
Sure.
been an opportunity to rework him, and I think he's just lost a lot of his fun. He's just a boring Impact Hits 3D3 model now.
Big old
What doesn't necessarily mean he's weak, because he's still, he's still a Triceratops at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't think 3D3 is all that fun compared to D6+1 re-rolling. That was kind of cool, but
Sure.
yeah. It's just a bit, boring now, I think.
But probably one of the ones that is trying to be as fun as possible. Titanopod now gains 5d3 stomps, so that's pretty cool. And considering he can stomp anything, that's very, very good. Strength 6.
He's our first instance of the deafening clamour rulebook change, which is a lack of text gets deleted, which is very good.
Yeah, which is basically what you already had, but it's now a rule as a thing, which probably means it's going to be throughout half the other books as well.
Yeah.
Walking Mountain, what has he lost? Is that much to lose?
Just the he can now overrun, whereas he used to not be able to.
Sure.
It's sort of to do with restraining pursuit, actually, nothing to do with overrunning. But
yeah, sure. And with the addition of the 5d3 from 4d3, I think it's staying the same. It's pretty cool, especially now that you can have the pterodons as well. I think that's cool. And the howders have, for the most part, got cheaper.
Yes, I would say so. I think maybe people didn't rush to take him in every list, so they're giving it a little bit more of a reason to play around with it.
Yeah. And that's our job lot. That is everything we have to talk about on Saurians. Not too bad.
No, but I think it's because it's such a new book, it kind of needs an extra sentence to every new rule anyway, because you're kind of explaining it for new people who haven't seen the book as well. But I'm encouraged by it. I think the whole point of it being a new book is there was going to be changes. There's going to be things that didn't work, that needed reworking, and I think they're doing a good job overall. There's a few things that, as a Saurian player, I'm a bit like, I didn't get to use that.
Sure.
But yeah, that's just having a new book, and hey, we all want new books. So
so
good job.
Not too much taken out in total. A couple of items and things like that. Overall, probably a bit cheaper, apart from the things you saw spammed, like the Tegi Warriors and stuff like that. So not too bad. Interesting actually, because I always felt like the Saurians had a lot of stuff, but it's because they don't have any characters, right, as well. So I quite like they can have just loads of dinosaurs everywhere and everything.
Yeah,
so
I would have loved to have seen a skink priest return.
Yeah,
come on, boys, just stick it in. Just stick it in. It's not that hard.
Yeah. He's
just make him a wizard
spirit.
Apprentice. He only has to be a wizard apprentice.
Well, he isn't the core guy, but you can only have him.
He's not. He's 40mm base. I still want. I've got like 9 of these 20mm skink priests. I'll just pile them on top of each other.
Yeah. Like holding up another one of them, and that's 5. Right.
Get it in there, boys. Get it in there. Come on.
That's Saurian Nations. Thank you very much for staying with us. Not too bad, about half hour.
That's cool. For a new book.
So let us know if we've missed anything major from the book, or any synergies that we've or minor, or any synergies we've glossed over that completely thrown us. And what you think of the new book, whether it's a good change overall or anything like that. Like, share, subscribe. Definitely subscribe as well, so make sure you click that button and the 2 ticks or the 2 bells or something, so that you see our other videos coming out over the next 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. Really, we've got so much coming out with the updates, Masters, and Art of War this year, Bell Rider Cup. We've got so much going on, so make sure you click that button so you don't miss a thing. Otherwise, social medias and all that jazz.
Yeah.
And, see you later.
See you later.